So I've helped pretty much a few business owner. I will not mention who, because if not, then you all know who. Then it's not good on my side. Okay.
The Business Lab.
Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the Business Lab podcast by the Singapore Malay Chamber of Commerce. My name is Abu Sofian and I'm the founder of Seyrul Consulting, and we help you get buy-in whenever you speak so that people choose you. And today's podcast is sponsored by our venue sponsor, ID, Entity and Craft by 3. And of course our media magicians, StudioFiveCorp. Let's give them a shout out for the very beautiful production and editing. Today we have Mr. Feroz from Miraj Advisory as our guest. Welcome to the set. Feroz.
Hi all.
All right, a little bit about Feroz. So he's a financial services director with over 8 years of industry experience. He specializes in legacy building, employee benefits, and corporate financial planning. Feroz is known for his personalized service and commitment to helping clients achieve financial goals. All right, so Feroz, thanks for coming on the set. The natural question to ask is, what's your background like and how do you get into this industry?
I graduated with a diploma of mechatronics, which is normal engineering student. Went on to do my normal job, which is in PSA as a senior operations supervisor. It's not related to finance at all. Furthermore, I just came into this industry because I love meeting people. I love being outdoor. I love no one controlling my life. So the only thing I can think of is, hey, I should become an entrepreneur. So that's when I came into finance, because a lot of people around me thought that I was very good in money management. In a way where I help them grow their money, I help them manage their funds, I help them save here, save there. I give good valuable advice, but I'm not earning any money by giving them advice. So I thought that, hey, why not? Let's just take a leap of faith and come into this industry, and here I am.
Okay. So a lot of feedback from the people you met. They said, hey, you give very good advice. From there, it kind of like was a little bit of a signal that, hey, maybe this is something for you.
True.
I see. Okay. So I guess the natural question now is, for today's episode, we're focusing on corporate financial planning. So just now you alluded a little bit into the whole idea of financial planning. So why is corporate financial planning so important? Let share with our viewers.
Okay. So any one of us who start off a business, right, we must ensure that our asset, which is our funding, is healthy. Next thing is that we need to also understand that we do have liabilities that we need to pay. We need to also invest into growth for future returns, right? So if one who does not plan appropriately, or one who does not seek advice from a professional to plan appropriately, he or she may detail or get into a state that they might go into a huge debt, first. Second, the business may fail, right, because of poor financial planning. So hence, that's why I felt that, hey, look, I want to ensure that entrepreneurs be successful, because if they grow together with me, I'm also able to grow, right? So it works both ways.
Nice.
So that's how I go about.
Okay. So you like the growth, the mutual growth, the win-win.
Correct.
With your clients.
Yes, I love it.
I say, okay. So I guess people have an idea of why it's important. But what are the components of a good corporate financial plan?
So furthermore, what I do generally, I will sit down with them, I will analyze their business model, I will analyze their net worth, I will analyze the revenue. So from there on, there are things like your overhead costs, whether are you doing any investment growth. So there's a lot of components being involved before I could even tell them whether are they able to venture out into their next business, or whether or not they should at least prolong it and hit a certain maximum, maybe another 30% growth or another 50% growth, in order for them to take the next leap of faith or open up their next outlet instead. So I've helped pretty much a few business owners. I will not mention who, because if not, then you all know who. Then it's not good on my side. Okay. But anyway, I've helped them in terms of going from $600 a a year with a capital. Today they are doing at a revenue of 2 million. They are still growing. They also seek my advice like, hey look Feroz, I want to expand, I want to go out of Singapore. What am I supposed to do? So the first place I asked them like, why you ask me? You should ask another business expert. But they told me that, hey look, you're a financial service director and you helped me grow my funds from 600 to 2 million in terms of my business perspective. Nice. You handle my financial portfolio. Pretty much you handle A to Z. So to me, you are the guy. There's nobody else that I can find. Yeah. Right. So that's a story that I would like to share in terms of how I've helped people around me. That's only one story. I have many more. If not, I will bore you guys to sleep. So, yep.
Okay. So that's a real success story of how from 600 a month and then now it's like 2 million. And I guess I'm curious to know, like, when you work with such business owners, right? What are the common challenges that they come to you for, or the things that you felt that needs to be addressed that many business owners are not aware about when it comes to financial planning?
Okay, so things that they are not aware of is like, for example, fire insurance, public liability. So these are things that they will try to cut their investment. I call this investment. Okay. Why? Because just imagine we are in this studio right now and you don't have a fire insurance that covers the whole entire studio. Just in case, one fine day, the whole entire unit caught fire.
Right.
What are you going to do? So there is a financial loss there. In fact, it could deplete much of your income because those content can then, reach out to your neighbors beside you lah. And hence, it will cost you, I would say maybe millions if it's not controlled enough.
Yeah.
Next step, when we talk about public liability, those food business owners,
yes,
you know that we consume food on a very daily basis.
Right.
So we cannot ensure or 100% know that confirm my food will be no issue. We never know. All of a sudden, one day, if you happen to just wake up and then all of a sudden, like maybe 10 clients went to a doctor and complained that, I have food poisoning.
Yeah.
Food has been mishandled. So in this situation, right, people may sue you. So when you have this private liability, more or less, right, you are being protected in terms of ensuring that you are being covered when people sue you lah. Yeah. So these are things that usually business owners should look out for. I'm not a financial expert for this area.
Sure.
So to me, do seek advice from the relevant brokers for this area because it's covered under general insurance, which is very important. Yeah. I hope I answered your question.
It sounds like the stakes are really high if a business owner does not think about these things.
Yep. Most of them don't. Yeah. I've met a few along the way. They told me that, no, Feroz, it's going to cost me 2.4K a year or 1.2K a year. I'm not going to get it. So I told them that, look, you really got to get this because you never know when it will come on you. Yeah. So there's this particular business owner who actually took it up.
Okay.
I cannot sell it. I cannot sell it up. So I just linked them up to another broker. That broker did for her. Furthermore, a year later, all of a sudden she was sleeping. She woke up the next day. Her staff went to office and told her that, Kak, the whole entire shop is flooded.
Oh.
Then she called me. She asked me, Feroz, how? I said, never mind, call the broker. The broker will settle. So she sent me a photos of how the whole entire shop was flooded. I thought that Singapore had an overnight flood. But it's not lah. It was because the aircon was leaking.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the whole entire aircon was leaking. The whole entire shop was flooded.
Oh, yeah.
It cost her total about 30K SGD loss. So the broker actually helped her settle. Alhamdulillah, she's actually very happy that that, hey, look, Feroz, you have already advised me something. You have referred me to the relevant party. He or she has already settled for me lah.
Wow.
Yeah, and furthermore, she told me that, hey, look, I got to create a content to spread this awareness and to let other business owners know that it is important.
Right.
Yeah, so sometimes, people are saved at 2.4K or like 1.2K for a 30K loss.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be saving this sort of money. This is part of investment growth, I would say. Yeah.
Well said,
it is about investment.
Yeah, it is an investment. I like the word used in investment. Segueing into another kind of investment, employee benefits. Right, so you're in that space, right? Providing corporates with employee benefits. Where do you see it integrating? How can employee benefits be integrated into a company's financial planning?
I think the most important thing for anybody who wants to venture and go out and do their own business is to understand that there is no substitute to hard work. Hard work comes first. Everything else comes second. Because we do know that people view business owners as kurang boss. You guys are bosses. You guys drive nice cars and you guys stay in nice places. Yeah, but you don't understand the struggles to get there. I personally tell myself this: do or do not. There's no try. Courtesy of Yoda.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. That's a very interesting topic, I would say. There are also many companies who do not want to get their stuff covered because it costs them money. So, you talk about costing them money, right? We must understand how employee think and feel. So, whenever an employee comes into a company joining you, right, they'll be looking out for corporate benefits such as medical benefit, whether or not, if I sick, I got fever, I got flu, I go to the doctor, do I need to pay my own money, or whether or not my boss is going to cover my bill, or who's going to pay. That's what they will always think of, right? Then, as a business owner, right, you do not want to have a very high turnover, which means to say that employee come in, then straight away go out. So this is one way to retain your employee by giving them this employee benefit, so that they would retain for long term. Because in a situation whereby if they are sick, they are critically ill, they don't have a private insurance plan, they can rely back on the employee benefit, right? And it doesn't cost really much towards it lah. It depends on what the companies that you can apply for, but honestly, I feel it really doesn't cost much to a company lah. Yeah.
Why do you said that it doesn't cost much, but why do you think some corporates and some business owners or businesses still don't provide much or coverage for that?
Good question. So furthermore, when business owners run a business model, they want to make sure that their cost is low, their profit is high, right? So any business owner may talk to them, right? That's the standard thing they'll tell you. Cost low, profit high. This is the fundamentals of business lah.
Margins.
So end of the day, right, when they look at maybe 10 staff, maybe I got to pay, let's say example $700 per staff. 10 staff, that's 7K annually, right? So for them, it's like 87K annually, right? I rather take this money, put inside my pocket, right? Because I would never know in that 1 year what kind of unfortunate circumstances that I might undergo in the business itself, right? But to me, I always encourage these business owners that, hey, look, that 7K can actually save you a 70K bill. Why do I say that? Because you will never know that these 10 staff, one of them, fall ill, they might need to go through a medical surgery, or maybe worst case scenario, critical illness happen. Right? They're all work. Right? So furthermore, it's a tool for you to actually help them and their family members so that they do not need to worry about their future. Yeah. So to me, I would say it's a tool. The tool is there, so might as well just make use of it lah. I don't think $700 it's pretty much lah. I think it's quite affordable for business owner lah.
I guess you're giving them perspective, right? We're giving all of us perspective. Okay, is this worth the investment, the ROI? What are some of the other things to consider besides price? Let's say before you invest in employee benefits. Okay,
so things that you need to consider about is what's the hospitalization coverage? Whether is there a deductible? Deductible means the cash outlay. Whether someone goes to hospital, whether they need to pay certain sum of money or not. Okay, so things like that, you got to think about it. You got to think about things like, example, fever, flu, go doctor. Do I need to pay $5? Do I need to pay $10? Do I need to pay $20? Sometimes some companies, right, they this benefit. Or I go there, I don't need to pay anything. $0. That's by their panel of service providers lah. So some companies like say that, oh no, I need to make sure that my employee pay $10. Why? Because so that they will not take a lot of MC. So it depends how the bosses want to run the business. But to me, honestly, if you really want to get something for your employee, right, make sure they don't have to pay anything out of their pocket. Because we need to first trust them, that they are able to work for us. It's a trust, because why I say it's a trust, because as an employee, right, today you onboard them, they are liable for your business expansion. They are liable and responsible for your growth. So before you even have a growth, right, you need to invest a bit on them. Besides paying them their monthly salary, you need to invest a bit more on them so that they will see that, wow, actually my boss really not bad. In fact, if they can say that, wow, my boss is awesome, that's amazing. Because end of the day, right, you know that if you are no longer around in that company, or you are away for 1 month, 2 months trip, you know that the whole entire company can operate without you. That is something that a lot of business owners want to have, but some of them, they are still struggling to have that. So this is just a tool for them to help in a way to encourage their employee. Yeah.
Would you say that there are some business owners that have good employee benefits and they've planned well for their business, but yet the staff still don't feel that connection with the business owner, or they still feel like it's so what? Kind of thing.
Good.
Yeah.
So that comes down to another way, which is the leadership of that particular boss director, chairman. So 2 things staff usually stay, okay, culture and money. Okay, if you have a good culture, but you are not being paid so well, right? Because the culture, they will stay, because they like the way you are. You're not so bossy. You're not rude.
Right.
In fact, I got employee benefit. Actually, why not? I don't mind having this type of pay lah. Another way why people leave is because they hate the culture. They are not being paid well. Then for them, it's like, nope, this is not going to do for me, I'm out.
Right.
Then they will take the exit out.
Right.
So in fact, it will cost you 20% more, in fact, to employ someone new. Why I say that? Because roughly, right, when, let's say example, in a situation you're paying an employee of 3K a month, right? That employee leaves, you got to pay at least, 3.5 to 3.6, including the 17% employer benefit for another person. It's going to cost you more, So why don't you make an arrangement that, hey, look, every year I'm going to give my employee an increment of, let's say, $200 to $300 a month, a year, sorry. So in fact, right, when you do that, right, it will cost you 10% lesser than approaching 20% more.
Right.
So these are things that I usually would advise my clients who are business owners to try to save costs here and there in a way, because if we look in terms of sustainability, in the long run, if they follow a certain structure, they would be in fact saving more than spending more lah.
Yeah, it's great that we're on the topic of saving. I guess a big part of their mind you mentioned just now, like, okay, I want it to give me a lot of benefit but low cost, right? But having said that, I think you're well positioned as a financial advisor and financial services director to perhaps guide us through what a realistic financial plan looks like for corporates and businesses. What are the steps?
Of your
Steps to be taken in place.
Yeah.
Okay. So first and foremost, there are things that usually I will give my clients Excel sheets
Okay.
for them to monitor their income flow, their outflow, if they need one.
Okay.
If they don't need, then if they have it, or they have an accountant, or they have someone who can do that for them, then so be it. Okay. Second thing, just let me share with you guys a story lah.
Sure.
So I went to this particular warehouse. He does staple foods.
Okay.
Okay, so he's a supplier. He's a supplier lah. The whole entire shop was tremendously very messy.
Okay.
He was a one-man operation.
Wow.
He was the boss. He was a salesman. He was the accountant. He was anything that you can say lah.
Right.
He's one man. Okay, so it's pretty much taxing on them, on him. Why? Because he felt that I should just go in for a low cost, high profit, right? When I look at it, I analyze back everything. Then I told him that, hey, look, first step, what needs to be done here is to make sure that your Excel sheet of your inventory is up. In fact, if you can actually invest into a POS system, right, that whereby you can scan, and everything else there is a barcode, you can scan and your inventory list is there. It helps you to ease your whole entire workflow, right? So he told me that, look, that is going to cost me money. I say, yeah, obviously everything also costs you money, right? I say, if you don't want to do that, or you feel that you are not ready for that, then let's just do up an Excel sheet to monitor whatever products that you have, your inflow, outflow. Because every day that there are cargo going out, there's also cargo receiving cargo.
Right.
So you record it down by yourself. Okay? If you cannot handle it by yourself, you feel that it's so taxing, then employ an intern first. Low cost.
Right.
Low cost.
Right.
Okay? Employ an intern, let them or he manage that first. Furthermore, second, when I look through the whole entire setup, he needed more racks to make it more systematic.
Okay.
For his cargo go in, go out.
Right.
So I advise him on that. I mean, usually business owner will pay a consultant for this, right?
Yeah.
So in fact, with me, they don't pay anything lah. They just have to seek my advice. Then they get some advice from me, some plans from me. Then that's it. These are the extra added services that usually I will advise them lah. Then next thing, he told me that his problem here is that marketing is not there. He's not getting new sales.
Okay.
So I said, okay, that's quite easy. Let's just do marketing in terms of your product, in terms of what do you do, spread awareness. Then eventually, on a long run, for about 3 years now, he don't have to do marketing, but people is looking for him.
Ooh.
And big companies.
Whoa.
Big companies will come and find him instead of he going out to find them. Why? Because in general, that's when another part is where I teach him in terms of negotiation skill,
Okay.
in terms of objection handling, in terms of his positioning.
Nice.
So when he learned that all from me, right? Because I'm trained to do that, so it's a daily thing that I do. So along the way, when he learned that, right, then he realized that, hey, actually you damn solid. I said, I'm glad that actually I met you lah. And I said, okay, Cam. So when you talk about steps, right, these are the few steps that I will usually guide them through. Okay, there are many more steps that we have, but it's just a systematic way of how we can manage our business along the way lah.
Yeah, I love the fact that you pulled in an anecdote, a story of how you helped one of your clients. Right? It gives a lot of context as to the different dimensions of problems that they might not be thinking about. And also in the story, I picked out that you have to invest in order to get a return.
Yes,
Right,
true.
and their mindset is important, right? And you also mentioned there are smaller steps to take, like interns first. Okay, great. So I guess a natural question then would be, okay, so what kind of budgetary or financial planning advice would you give to business owners in general? Like I'm looking at budgeting techniques so that they can more effectively manage their finances.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how I go about. So to me, in any business, right, first thing foremost, we got to think about charity.
Okay.
Okay, so budgeting wise, in terms of charity, they can actually allocate about 5% of their profit. Okay, I feel this is a very fair thing because, be it whatever religion that we are in, right, the more we give is, the more we get We got to give out in order for us to see some returns right. That's one. Second thing, in terms of your budgeting in terms of your employee. Set about approximately, this is what I do for myself and what I teach my clients, 30% of the total entire revenue. Okay, not profit, revenue. So example, your revenue is 2 million. 30% of 2 million, that's about 600 plus, around there. So when we have 600k, right, we have a lot of things that we can do. But this budget that we allocate 600k is actually for the entire year. Okay, be it your pay, your boss pay, your transportation costs, your cargo costs, your employee costs, employee benefit, everything added up inside. If we spend about 600k on our so-called employee, right? In general, that's our liability. I wouldn't say liability, it's an investment for growth, 30%. 600k, potentially you have about 1.2 million in your pocket. Alright? So on top of that, you got to think about your liabilities, cost of your rental space and all. Let's set aside about another maybe 10%. 10% of the whole entire cost, that's about 200k. Okay, so furthermore, you already spend about 800k a year. Okay, so when we add up the max together, right, we take 2 million minus 600k minus 200k, we get 1.2 mil. Yup, correct. We get to 1.2 mil. So 1.2 mil is your so-called profit. We haven't less off your charity. Haven't yet. And also your miscellaneous expenses along the way. So typically the company will be able to make 1 million. Sorry. I mean, this is just normal conversation. I haven't looked through at the finances. I really do not know how much is it, but this is just a normal conversation based on the percentage. How much people should allocate here and there. Yeah. Right. I hope I answered your question.
You did. I think it because sometimes we kind of need a mental walkthrough of what are the things to consider. Maybe they didn't even consider charity. Maybe they didn't even consider this breakdown, right? Yeah. So I guess that's one. But here's the thing, right? Many people would say, you know what, Feroz, I've heard of this before. I've done budgeting before. I know what to do, right? But yet sometimes they fall into certain traps, certain financial traps later downstream. Could you share with us some of the potential pitfalls that business owners, corporates tend to fall into and what they need to be wary of?
Okay. If you have the asset in your account, right, never ever take debt. Okay, because sometimes debt management is important. Okay, why? Because sometimes it's very tempting, like, okay, there's someone that or a particular company can loan you $500,000. Right? Then in your mind you think that, hey, $500,000, what can I do? I need to pay interest over a period of 5 years. Actually I can use this $500,000, I can set up another shop. Right? But your total asset that you have in your company itself, let's say example maybe cash flow is about 1 mil. If you're going to take another 500k, no doubt you're going to increase your 1.5 mil, right? But be it depends on how people operate. But to me, once you take the $500,000 and you have no plan at all what is the next step, you are today under a very huge liability, right? So when you are in liability, you have your house liability, you have your car liability, everything add up together. Today, let's say in a situation whereby the person passes away, when you talk about debt management, person passes away, he's now in no doubt 500k in debt, right? And who's going to pay that 500k? His company money paid out, example, he has still has stuff or business costs that he need to pay, and who's going to pay that 500k? That's another problem that he might see which they wouldn't even know because that's their blind spot. So that's when we come in and tell them that, okay, look, if you want to take this 500k debt, there needs to be someone who can cover this $500,000. Someone who's willing to take that debt ratio.
Wow.
So who's that person? That's the question that I asked them back. I say, who? You are, Feroz. I say, no I'm not that rich. I'm not that rich. But I have a solution for that because you can actually use life insurance to cover that $500,000 to insure yourself. So that's another way that people can look at it.
I see.
So I provided. I mean, you gave me the problem, I gave you the solution.
We're very much you engineer solutions for people, very tailored to their needs. So I guess right now there's a lot of talk about technology, right? There's AI, there's also like fintech coming up. What are some of the technological tools that perhaps you can, to use the word, capitalize on or use for businesses that you felt you want to recommend, or even perhaps even for business owners to consider looking at?
Okay. Few things that I look at right now, right? Example, you want to do marketing. Example lah. There's video AI that we can do.
Yes.
Right? That's one of them.
Right.
Which is absolutely like more or less quite cheap lah. Next thing, if let's say you want to do marketing, there's also a particular website that you can actually go into. You pay a premium of about 1,000 plus a year, and you can do as many landing pages as you can. Right, so that's another way. And furthermore, right, what is so particular in that landing page is that you can do different kind of teams for different kind of approach, right? In fact, it's not going to cost you more as compared to employing a marketing content, those Facebook advertiser. Yeah, it's going to cost you more on that lah, but you can do it yourself lah.
Right.
Furthermore, there are things like, example, maybe you want to do a presentation, you're lost, don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You got ChatGPT, you got Gemini to ask them to guide you through, walk you through what are the contents that you can come up with.
Yeah.
Use that, then from there you develop your content from there. It's just like a basic touch point that, okay, I give you an idea of what you're going to do. Okay, now you can do it. Yeah, so these are some of the tools that I know lah so far lah. I'm pretty sure most of the business owners also know because it's in the market.
Right.
It's a talking point right now.
Yeah.
We are evolving. We need to adapt also along the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I guess the next question would be like, where do you see the industry going when it comes to financial planning for corporate spaces, right? What are some trends that you're noticing?
When we talk about corporate financing, right, actually the demand for this, right, is not there. I've not seen anyone talking about it so far. Usually they will talk to their business coaches so far. In fact, if let's say they want to apply for the government grant and all, they will go to relevant parties to ask for government grant. So that is not, I would not consider that as financial corporate planning in my terms. Why? Because I only deal with profit, liabilities, and investment for growth. It's a different thing as compared to grants and all lah, but it's an area that people can look out for. Okay, so in fact, if you are talking about this, right, this education needs to be educated more, which needs to start from me myself lah. Yeah, so that's how I educate my clients along the way. But one person to educate, nope, is not going to reach out so fast. But yeah, I'm pretty positive that with that particular education, with that particular outreach, more people will know, and people will not be afraid of, sitting down with financial service director to talk more about it. I wouldn't say that every financial service consultant or financial service director can talk about this.
Right.
It takes experience.
For sure.
It takes your 1-2 case successful scenarios or situation that you have someone in order for you to build that confidence. Then you are able to educate.
Yeah. The proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
Experience is priceless.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Feroz, for joining us for the show. We'd like to thank you for tuning in. I would definitely like to thank our sponsors, Craft by 3 and ID Entity, and our media magicians, StudioFiveCorp. Don't forget, if you're watching this podcast on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're watching it, there could be a description box or a survey that you can do so you can help us to improve the episode. And with that, we'll see you for the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.